ممكن أسألك عن، لأن أنا سألت عن هذا الشيء بالنسبة للأطباء الذين هم يعالجون المرضى بكوفيد، لأن قلت أنه من الواجب الصحة أنهم يصومون، لكن بالنسبة للأطباء إذا هم يحسون أنهم يحتاجون إلى تقوية أو قوت حتى ما يضعف أثناء المعالجة خوفا من هذا المرض، هل يبيح لهم الإفطار؟
هذو الأطباء طواقم الطبية والأطباء والممرضين والمسعفين، هذو إذا كانوا بالصوم يخافون من أن يمرضوا، من أن تضعف مناعتهم، أو كانوا يخافون أن يضعفوا عن معالجة مرضاهم، هؤلاء يمكن أن يفطروا، أن يترخصوا. وقد نص الحنفية على أن الممرض، وأصل الكلام ذكره الطحطاوي في حاشيته على الدر المختار، إذا الممرض وإن كان ابن عابدين قال لأنه يعولهم، لكن كذلك إذا خاف تضييعهم فيجوز له أن يفطر في يوم عمله، حتى أكون واضحا في هذا.
نعم.
يعني يخاف أن يضيع المرضى، أن يضعف عن معالجة مرضاه كالأطباء في زمن كورونا الشديد.
نعم. أو
يخاف هو أيضا من أنه ستضعف مناعته ويسهل أن يصاب.
نعم.
هذا كل واحد منهم يكفي.
نعم.
يعني ظهر لنا من خلال تتبع في كلام كثير المالكية عن مسألة الخوف من المرض، أو الخوف من أو الخوف أن يكون سببا للمرض.
نعم.
وفي كلام أيضا للحنابلة، فهذا الكلام من حاصله هو ما ذكرته لك.
So, I was just saying, the Sheikh mentioned that healthy people should be fasting, and what would be the condition of a physician or a nurse or somebody working in the healthcare field that was worried about having weaker immunity if they were fasting? Is it permissible for them in that situation to break their fast? And Shaykh Abdallah said that there's two situations. One is if they were not, if they didn't have enough energy to actually fulfill their duties, so they weren't. And he said that this is actually mentioned in the Hashia of Imam Tahtawi on Durr al-Mukhtar in the Hanafi madhab, that it is permitted in that situation to break the fast, but only on the day that they're actually working. It wouldn't be on the other days. And so the same is true if the doctor felt, or the nurse, that they were going to be in a compromised situation dealing with these, they could break their fast and fast later, and that would be determined obviously by the doctor's own medical judgment on that. So he said then also, that, and the reason for the obligation is clear because there's no clarification after God's clarification, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that the fasting has been prescribed for you, that it's an obligation. Kutiba alaykum as-siyam, and kutiba here means it's an obligation for you to fulfill it. And then he said that people should not allow for their religious emotions to dictate their actions. And he said that he's not faulting them for those emotions, because those emotions come out of their religiosity and very often out of their piety. And so they're not negative instincts. But he said we really can't allow our religious emotions to override the reasonableness of our religion. And so that's very important, that we should be following the guidelines of the experts. This is the religious tradition. This is our tradition. So government and the epidemiologists, the guidelines that they set forth are very important to follow. And finally, Shaykh said that it's very important to make dua, that it's extremely important that people make dua, because Ramadan, the gates of heaven are open. Dua is one of the times when dua is particularly effective. So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove this tribulation on humanity, not just for the Muslims, but for all of humanity, because we're an ummah for all of humanity. And he said that especially on the night of power, this is a very important night for dua. And finally, Shaykh said it's extremely important that people not do this, do not suspect the decree of God or judge the decree of God. Don't think that you can understand what's behind all of these things, that the human perspective is limited, that we have a certain limitation on our view. Even when we look out, we can only see what's in front of us. We don't see what's behind us. So we don't have this ability to see the whole picture. And because of that, like just in the case of right and wrong, Allah has given us a normative understanding of right and wrong, so we can determine based on things, but we can't penetrate the right and wrongness of circumstances. The only thing that can determine that is the consequences of those situations. And so something can actually look like it's a horrible thing, but in the end you realize, oh, that actually there was a great reason for that. And he said you can give many examples of this, but the most obvious examples are things that outwardly appear. You can have the exact same situation where one person burns down a piece of land in order to prepare it for, to make it more fertile and prepare it for growth, and another person burns it down as a destructive act. So in the very same act, if you just looked at those two acts, they would be identical, but one is for good and the other is for evil. And the same is true, like a surgeon can cut off a hand to save a life from gangrene, whereas another person can cut off the hand in an act of aggression. So it's the exact same form, but two completely different meanings based on the intentions behind it. And only God knows these things. We just don't know these things. And so we have to trust in our benevolent and merciful Lord that what he's doing is for the good of humanity and not to harm us, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants good for us. And so it's very important not to do that.